Hello there, and welcome back to another Wheels and Journeys YouTube review. Today, you are welcome with me inside. Well, it's my favorite. I love it. I call it the Tiggy. Today, you're welcome with me inside the Volkswagen Tiguan. This happens to be the Life variant, so it's just a smidgen above the entry-level base spec, coming in at 702,000 Rand. VW have decided to keep the prices below means because of how stiff the competition is, given from all the new Chinese counterparts that are coming into the country, as well as the other rivals. So you're facing the likes of the Haval Jolion Pro, the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro. That's just to give you one or two. And then let's chat more briefly about your Toyota RAV4, the Hyundai Tucson, and one or two premium competitors, Audi Q3 and BMW X1. So those are obviously what it has in its sights, the Tiggy. But that being said, yeah, VW, new Tiguan, it looks good. I love it. But before we get into the details and the nitty-gritties and the gripes, they've done very well for themselves, VW, as a whole. They've sold about 7.4 million units globally of the Tiguan, so quite good on them. And in South Africa, they've sold about 41,000 cars of Tiguan variants in SA. So yeah, well done to VW. So this is a hot seller. It is their best seller, and they have strategically decided to make it within reach and affordability, because if you ever saw a Tiguan that was priced over R1 million, you'd be literally upset. And I thought, before the new Tiguan arrived, because we had a first glance at it at the Festival of Motoring, and I thought to myself that it's definitely going to be R1 million. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that they've decided to keep it within reach, even the top spec, the R-Line spec, that's about 839,000 Rand. That's even 30 grand less than what the outgoing yesteryear previous gen Tiguan was. So yeah, really good. And this, for all the VW fans out there, you might be a cup of tea. So what's different about the new Tiguan? Well, its design is different. It speaks a whole new different language design wise. It's softer features, it's more demure. That word demure, it's very soft creature like, and the front end is more smoothed out. You'll notice that it has integrated LED headlamps, a horizontal front strip as well in the front, following in that new futuristic theme, as you'll know, especially with the Volkswagen ID.4 Pro. It's leaning towards that. The back end of the car as well has a horizontal strip, but overall, yes, it looks good, and especially by the wheel arches, it's more beefier, it's slightly longer, more wider than ever before. And I have to agree with you, it did take some liking towards the design. It was not everybody's cup of tea, but for me it looks good, especially in this Life edition. Ours has the 17-inch alloy wheels, thick rubber as well, so the ride comfort does feel on par. And also, just it doesn't look too over the top. Ours came in white, so white is obviously not the most exciting color to get on a Tiguan, but it got the job done. And then there's a sunroof. A sunroof was thrown into the mix, some robust body cladding. But yeah, the Tiggy really is a handsome charmer. It looks quite delightful. I liked everything about it from its design point of view, but to be honest with you, I'm just curious to see how the market will fare with this. How are you going to be in a hurry to trade your old Tiguan for the new Tiguan? But we'll get into the performance on fit just now as well. So inside, yes, inside is the most important part about the Tiguan. I think that this specific variant, the Life Edition, has all the creatures of comfort that you'd like. Your leather seats, leather wrapped steering wheel. They've gone away with the multifunctional steering wheel, as in it is a multifunctional steering wheel, but there's no touch haptic buttons as before. They've kept it solid icons, which is fantastic. And just overall, the theme setup is very, how do you say, it's very minimalistic but functional, which is what I like. You know, it screams, most VWs are like that. It's simplistic, but they've thrown in some spice to give it some modern flair. You'll notice as well, when you sit inside the car, you have this massive 12.3-inch infotainment system. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, yes, and ease of breeze to connect your phone, which is great. Another thing as well that I can't harp about, specifically about the Tiguan, is that it has, I'm enjoying it as well as we speak to you now. Perhaps this will calm me down in early morning hustle and bustle Johannesburg. It has a massaging function, which is quite fantastic, and it also has heated and ventilated seats, so the heated seats feel so good, and the massaging options is fantastic as well. But that being said, the clarification of the system, the way it works, is very clear. It's very easy and operable to use. You'll get used to it eventually, because I'm used to buttons. I'm used to pressing things and prying on things, but it's very nicely laid out. In the middle also, you'll notice that this little knob in the middle is touchscreen too, so you can control your volume settings, what type of driving setting you want, and also the energy and ambience you want of the cabin. There's different modes, you know, to choose from to liven up the cabin. Your 10 color scheme, ambient lighting, which is really good on them. I like that. You'll notice also that, for a base spec or just above base spec, it has the creatures of comfort that you want. There's also forward collision warning. It will beep incessantly, and it will brake for you if you get too close to an object, which can be alarming at first, but it might save you that inconvenience of a bumper bash as well. And the rear view camera, the park distance control, that's quite crystal clear. I like the graphics of that. But yes, before we get into all those details, I think, you know, VW in its essence, it's still, I love just sitting behind the wheel of it. You know, it sounds so cliche to say love, but silly, because yes, you know, the way things are going, people are on about Chinese cars, and rightfully so, because you're getting a lot more kit for the money. But still, I think the Germans have bitten back. I think they've come back, and they're not going down without a fight. And VW would have been in hot waters right now if they decided to price this out of pocket. But that being said, yes, coming back to its looks inside the cabin, the seats plush, the sunroof gorgeous, the digital driver's display, a real peach. I like it, but that's just really about it. And more things on that. It has, if I wanted to explore, you know, the vehicle, it's nice, it's tasty, it has those creatures of comfort, and assistance systems, you know, it will also warn you when you need to take a coffee break. Who knows, maybe I might need to take a coffee break. But before getting into more things, I think that the driving is where it really shines. I think what VW has concocted here, it's improved. They've updated the chassis. It's now called the platform. They all used to call it MQB, but now they've updated that as well, the platform, so it's MQB Evo. That's what they've given it here. So it's improved chassis, improved driving dynamics. It's more refined than ever before. Tiguan, you have my heart with you. That being said, driving it, you feel it. It's solid. It moves. It holds itself really well. It's composed. It's like, it's just a chef's kiss to drive. I really love driving it because I've driven everything under the sun. I've driven the Chery Tiggo Pro 4 Pro, 8 Pro. I've driven the Haval Jolin Pro, the Audi Q3, the X1. I haven't driven the new X1 as yet. But, man, nothing takes a cake out of just solid German engineering, you know, and it has that right gumption when you need it to. The pedal shifters kick in to control the vehicle, and fuel economy really from this 1.4 liter TSI engine, which delivers precisely about 110 kilowatts and 250 newton meters of torque, paired with that 7-speed DSG automatic transmission. It's the right amount of torque, it's the right amount of power. You can really throw it around. I'm in comfort mode, but I want to put it into sport mode because you know what, let's give it a good send off before it goes. It really is going quite nicely, and I'm playing around with the pedal shifter, so it's smooth and it just goes. And yeah, solid German engineering. And so the engine, talking about the engine and its efficiency, well, yeah, the efficiency is on par. It achieved 6.9 liters on the highway cruising, and that was, let's say, putting in some effort. You know, you're not really like heavy on the throttle, but it definitely has the right amount of power when you need it to, and the efficiency. So 6.9 liters in eco mode, light foot, gently tapping the throttle. That's what you can expect. And when you put it into, you know, comfort mode and you're driving in the city and you have a heavier foot, it says of an achieving 8.9 liters. So yeah, it can be efficient when it needs to be, but it can also be a bit heavier. So yeah, overall my thoughts on the Tiguan, to buy the new Tiggy or not to buy the Tiggy? Well, I'm all for it. I think I'm all for the new Tiguan because of that essence of what it has to offer and its pricing. And yes, 702,000 Rand is not cheap, but in today's market, guys, nothing is cheap anymore, Nothing is within reach. But I still would have my fun with this. I'd still take the Tiguan. And where does the name Tiguan come from? Well, in case you didn't know, here's something for you. Tiguan comes from tiger and iguana. They combine the name together, so you get a very soft-like creature, but also an aggressive wild cat. And that's where you get the name Tiguan from. It's a very catchy name. So if you want to read more about the Tiguan and you want more meteor content, you can click the link down below in the Linktree link to find my full article review, or have a listen to my radio insert that I did on Capricorn FM. But yes, catch me every Friday at 12:30 on Capricorn FM, where I chat and review the latest cars on the market. And yes, that being said, Tiggy, I love you. I think you've been good. And comparing yesteryear models, the previous 1.4 liter Allspace and the 2.2 TDI, it's always been refined, and I think it still lives up to the name of quality. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to the Wheels and Journeys YouTube channel, and I appreciate the view. Thanks. Have a blessed one. Peace.